So, for everyone tuning in the live trading room, good morning. Yesterday, you guys killed it. I'm glad you guys made some good money. Some of you DM'd me, and it seems like yesterday was a personal record for a couple of you guys. So, just really happy for so many of you that just made so much good money yesterday. So, super happy. Just wanted to make that comment. All right, today's gonna be a really busy day. We've got a extremely highly anticipated direct listing. This is not a traditional IPO. This is a direct listing, and that's with Coinbase. So Coinbase, the direct listing is at $250. Some are saying that it may open up to between $500 to $600. So let's see. As soon as I start getting more data fed into my Merrill Edge, I will keep you guys up to date and let you guys know once it opens up and when we can start trading it. I will say this: if it opens up remotely anywhere near $600, I might not touch it, because from 250, if it opens up that high, it's done like all the work that we could have gotten had it opened up, let's say, at like $300, maybe even $400. So be cautious with it. And yeah, so I'll let you guys know how I play that out. So that's going to be on my A list, and I'm going to keep a chart open just for that. Another stock that's going to be on my A list, I'm going to go over my top 6, is Goldman Sachs. I read the report on Goldman Sachs. They killed it. They straight up killed their earnings report. It's not gapping up that much. So if Goldman Sachs shows any sort of strength, at the open, I am going to play this one. It's a little bit of an expensive stock. The contracts on Goldman Sachs tends to be a little spready, so just be careful with it. But if Goldman Sachs breaks out of that 333 range and starts approaching 334, I'm going long. I mean, they destroyed their earnings report. Take a look at it in the earnings channel in our Discord, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. If you have any questions on how to read and understand those earnings reports, you guys let me know. I can help out in any way possible. Okay. Another name that's going to be on my A list is Moderna. Moderna gave out some updated report on their efficacy with their vaccines. Very strong, very good. It's flagging here in pre-market. So very simple. If Moderna starts breaking out of like the 154.50, 155 range, go long, baby, because we're gonna ride this one up. On the daily chart, it has pulled back from its all-time highs, but I like what it's doing here. The next area of resistance is like 157, 158. If it breaks out of that, really no true resistance until like maybe 161, 165, 168. So that's what I see on the daily chart with Moderna. So if we do see some strength coming into Moderna today, I am going to be all over this one. Another name I'm going to keep an eye on, American Airlines. American Airlines just came out with some information that they expect to fly more than 90% of its domestic seat capacity compared to summer of 2019. You can see that it popped from $22.76 to about a little over $23. American Airlines, what's really nice about this one, guys, the contracts are super cheap on it. So you can load up on this one and have a lot of fun with it. You can just buy equity on the stock. On the daily chart, it has room to about, I would say, the 8MA, 23.48 as it currently stands. The 8MA, the 13, and the 20 are sitting all right on each other. So if American Airlines is strong out of the gates, we could potentially see 23.50 on this one. So it's only 50 cents away from where it's currently at the moment. I think it's completely realistic for us to hit that target. So American Airlines is going to be another one on my A list. My fourth one that's going to be on my A list is Discovery, DISCA. Yesterday, news came out that Credit Suisse was selling more blocks of shares. They were unloading, right, the losses that they've incurred from this stock. And you can see it closed yesterday at $40.38. Today, gapping down to $38.65. Pull up a daily chart on this. Honestly, guys, it looks pretty simple. This stock is coming down to its 200-day moving average. I wouldn't even mind like swinging puts on this one because it's getting damaged pretty bad. From a next target perspective, honestly, I think we can see the low that it made on March 26th, which would be about 34.80. So the way I'm going to play it is this. I don't think this is going to get bought up at all today. I could be completely wrong, but if I'm right, if we short it, if once it breaks that pre-market low, this thing might come crashing down. Let me see level 2 just to see where the buyers are putting themselves here. I don't see a lot of buyers. There's a little bit of buyers at 38 bucks, but if 38 doesn't hold, I mean, there are literally no buyers at the moment in pre-market, you know, past $37. Let me pull up another aspect. Yeah, dude, there are not a lot of buyers on this. At least that's what level 2 is showing me in pre-market. Once the market opens up, more data is going to come in because this is just taking into consideration pre-market data. But I think this one's going to get hurt. So I'm going to short it. You got to be kind of quick on the trigger though, because this might just yank really hard at the open. So I am going to go in for that short. Another name I'm going to play is Snap. The reason why, Snap got a nice price target upgrade today. You guys can see that in the analyst channel in our Discord, and I like it. I think Snap is going to have a nice run. It got a $75 price target from Wedbush with an outperform rating. Daily chart on this looks pretty nice. I think Snap, we can see this probably run up to about 65 bucks. If it just rips out of 65, I don't see any daily resistance until probably like 66, 67. So let's see how much strength it's really got in today. But this one I think will be nice to play. So the way I see it is this, the current setup. I mean, if we start seeing this rip out of pre-market highs, I mean, go long. And the risk is super small. You can put your stops at 64 if you want. You're only risking 30 cents. If you want to give it a little bit more room, put your stops at 63.75. But if it actually fails 63.75 and it comes down to 63.50, I'm going to look for the short. The gap up is pretty strong. It's already gapping up, almost a full $2. So if there is some profit taking on it, let's look for that bottoming tail bar. And let's see if some strength can come in it. But if it just completely just starts to fade, we can go in for the short. So the other name I'm going to keep an eye on as my number 6 for the A list is Tesla. Tesla on the daily chart is just a monster. It broke out of the 50-day moving average yesterday. I don't know if you guys probably analyzed this yesterday, but yesterday was a very key technical day for Tesla. It ripped out of its 50-day moving average, so it broke that downward trend on the 50-day moving average. So now Tesla is potentially creating a new short-term upward trend, and it's still and if you look at it from a bigger picture, like on a 1-year chart, it's still holding that upward trend. We didn't even test the 200, and it never broke it. So Tesla is really good on a daily perspective. However, we are seeing a little bit of weakness. It is gapping up, but it is pulling back as well. So if I see Tesla like break below like 774 and the market is selling off, we can possibly look for a short. But if some strength comes into Tesla and we see it reclaim 780 and 784, all right, we're going to go in and trade this up to 790, maybe even 800 today. So the only concern that I've got on Tesla is that on the daily, it's trading 20 points above its upper Bollinger Band. But the RSI is only at 64.78 with pre-market data. So you've got two indicators that guides you on overbought or oversold conditions. Only one of them is telling you it's overbought. So I think Tesla could potentially have more run in it before it consolidates and maybe we even see a little bit of a pullback. So needless to say, Tesla, we are playing that one today again. So that's my top 6. I've got a bunch on my B list. Don't have enough time for it, but at least you guys know what my top 6 stocks that I'm going to be trading are. So, Tosh?
Yeah, so a couple of names that I'll be watching over. Obviously, with this rally in Bitcoin, we have to keep an eye on Riot and Mara. I particularly like Riot a little better. I like the technical setup that it has because it's priming up for a nice breakout here on the daily chart. There is a little resistance here around 67.50, but after that, there's really nothing until the all-time high around 79.50. So with Riot, right now, it is selling off a bit. It traded as high as 63.50 during the pre-market session. It's currently trading around $61, and it closed yesterday at 59.25. So if Riot wants to be strong today, I would say wait for an entry somewhere around 62.50 maybe, even. However, if it's weak, if it really starts selling out of the gates, you could even look for a short around 60.50. I do think today may be a heavy day for the market. Looking at the Qs now, the Qs are coming right back down to the closing price. So just keep that in mind with a lot of these plays. Looks like Tesla is breaking that 774 as well.
Yep.
So far, it looks like the market's looking to give back some of its gains. I'll also be keeping an eye on Apple. Apple was another stock very similar to Tesla, breaking out of a key resistance zone. Actually had a bull flag breakout yesterday and was gapping up just a few moments ago. But with this market sell-off, Apple's coming back down. It's about 20 cents above yesterday's closing price. So it is still holding. But for Apple, I would say we have to wait for it to clip above 135 before looking for a long. If it does trade back up above 135, we can throw our stops around 134.60. Now, if it starts breaking below 134.50, we could possibly look for a short with our stops around 135. But I will say that if we want to short some stocks with the overall market being weak, look at some of the other names that are a little more in the overbought territory. Look at your Microsofts. Look at maybe even Facebook. Some of the other names that are extended to the upside. Microsoft's RSI is at 71. So Microsoft is going to be a name that I'm going to keep an eye on, especially if the market is weak, shows any type of weakness today. I would prefer to trade Microsoft just because it is pretty, it's much more overbought than some of the other stocks within the tech sector. So with Microsoft, it has had a big drop off since the pre-market high of 259.77. It's gave back nearly $2 from that price point, and is actually trading towards yesterday's a little towards yesterday's consolidation price. So Microsoft, we are going to have to be a little more patient to find a decent entry. Right now, if we can get some consolidation right before the open, maybe we get a break at 258, we can look for a short somewhere around there. And that's assuming we could get some type of consolidation here. Another name I'll be watching is Baba. Baba is a name especially I'm going to keep an eye on, especially if the market is strong today. And the main reason why is because it is very similar to Apple from yesterday. Apple had a big day here on the 9th, and then an inside day the next day after that, and then yesterday had that bull flag breakout. Baba could be very similar if the market is strong today. Had a big day on Monday. Then yesterday we had the inside day, but it still had the lows from the prior day. And if the market wants to rally back up above yesterday's high around 245.70, Baba could be in for another run, right? We could finally get that breakout towards 250 and start making our way towards that 200 in May on the daily chart. I'm actually considering swinging this if that does happen. So keep an eye on that. I'm just
Mm.
going to observe, how the market's reacting and whatnot. If the market is, still just showing a lot of strength, then I may go ahead and initiate that swing, just because Baba is still in a very beaten down state right now. As of now, during the pre-market session, not a lot is going on. Pretty much a pre-market high of 244.50. Pre-market low of around 243, so we have about $1.50 range. So as of now, Baba, in order for it to really spark my interest, it would have to break out above 244.50. If it does, we can throw our stops around 244. If you want to give it a little more room, 243.50. See if we can get that break of yesterday's highs and even test yesterday's highs. Another name I'll be watching. It's had a big pop out of nowhere. Plug. I was looking for some news on it, and I couldn't really find anything. But I think it was something that was affected across the entire industry, because SCEL had a pop as well, but not nearly as big as Plug. So one thing that I will say about Plug is, if you look at the 200 MA on the daily chart, it's right on it. Yesterday, I believe it touched it like pretty much to the penny, $28.
Yeah.
The 200 MA is at $27.90, so again, right there. And I think you're honestly just getting that bounce off the 200 period moving average. So with that being said, keep an eye on Plug. There's a good amount of pre-market action going on right now. It's actually flagging, breaking out of a flag. So if we can start getting a break above 30.30, 30.20, you can definitely look for it long. There is some resistance here around 32.40. That's going to be the 8MA. And then the prior day's high, not yesterday, but the day before that, was around 31.50. So really no resistance until around 31.50 to 32.40. So you have some range on the stock. It's a cheap name. It's $30. Contracts are very cheap on it. Have a tight spread. So again, if the solar stocks are strong, keep an eye on Plug. This is a name. Like I said, it's having some good volume. It's actually looking to break out right now. And it could go on a nice run here. Daily bounce off the 200 MA. We've already seen with other stocks how that can play out. So this could be setting up a very similar scenario here on Plug. As for some other names, I won't go into too much detail about, but I'll be keeping an eye on it. The S&P 500, the Qs, pretty much the overall market. I already mentioned Mara. And then a few of the airline stocks as well, specifically American Airlines. American Airlines had some news come out saying that they were pretty much going to increase capacity. Actually, I think Alex already went over American Airlines, now that I think about it. So I won't go into too much detail about it, but that's going to be another one that I'll be keeping an eye on. And then obviously Coin. Highly anticipated debut for the stock. I know someone asked earlier, will they have options contracts? They will not. Usually you have to wait at least a day. Sometimes they'll post it the next day, but more often times than not, it's going to be the following week once their actual shareholders start to get established and start selling contracts to everyone. So we will have to wait for the contracts. However, if you can trade it with equity, by all means, trade it with equity. As long as it's not gapping up to like $600. But other than that, that's pretty much going to do it for my watch list. Yesterday was a really good day for a lot of us. So, that could be, it's as good as that is, you always have to be careful coming into the next day for a few reasons. You may be a little trigger happy, or, you may kind of expect those type of gains to come in again. Just keep things consistent. Keep it how we came in yesterday, trying to, just secure those base hits. And if it ends up being a home run day, then great. But if not, then hey, let's aim for our daily profit, our daily goal, and keep it moving.
That's definitely well said, man. Sometimes your biggest day can follow up with your biggest losing day. So just go back to basics. Every single day, you just rinse and repeat, right? Your risk management is still the same. Your target, your daily target is still the same. But then, if we get into some good trades and it just blows. We just get blown out of the water in terms of profits. All right, then it's just another great day, you know. So,
Yep.
Anthony, trigger on American Airlines. Well, with the setup at the moment, if it breaks out of that 22.95, 97 range, I'll go long. Put my stops at like 22.84. So at that point, you're just risking 13 cents on the trade. If you want to give it a little bit more room, you can put stops down here at 22.75, kind of like where it really broke out, where that flag, you know, that engulfing green candle. So that's the way I see it there. So for everyone on YouTube, thanks for tuning in, guys. Please go ahead and give us a like on this pre-market analysis and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we'll see you later with our trade of the day.